state-of-the-art IQ automatic car wash system. Every car or truck that enters the automatic IQ wash system is scanned to capture its unique vehicle profile to give you a great car wash every time. Nips Car Wash also features 2 self-service bays where you can choose from a variety of accessories such as foam brush, tire brush, bug off, wax, clear coat, and spot-free rinse with powerful blowers located in each bay to top off your car wash experience at an affordable price. For the best quality car wash around, go to the new Nips Car Wash located down from McDonald's on the left on Highway 301 South in Jessup. That's Nips Car Wash with a state-of-the-art IQ automatic wash system on Highway 301 South down from McDonald's in Jessup.
Better than ever, Reedy Creek Steakhouse. Tender USDA hand-cut steaks, Georgia-grown quail, seafood, ribeye steak burgers, unlimited soup and salad bar, great dessert, and their signature bread and cheese spread. Reedy Creek Steakhouse, Clifford Jones Road, just off Caveville Road near Scriven. 912-579-6773. 912-579-6773. Open Thursdays 5:30 to 9, Friday and Saturday 5:30 to 10. South Georgia's best-kept secret, Reedy Creek Steakhouse. Come on down to the creek, following all COVID-19 distancing and sanitation protocols and guidelines. You can recognize your 2020 graduating senior on WIFO-FM. Just call the big dog at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711 for more information and recognize your graduating senior of the class of 2020 here on the big dog WIFO-FM.
8 o'clock here at the Big Dog WIFO-FM Jessup. Time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply and Nips Car Wash. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jonathan. It's Wednesdays with Werkheiser. We got Bill Werkheiser on the phone with us, State Representative. Bill, how you doing today?
Doing good. How are you and Jonathan doing?
Hanging in there. Like I said, we're here ready for another. We're at Hump Day Wednesday. So, again, it's Wednesdays with Werkheiser. A lot going on. Just want to get your updates. You're around the area, around the district. The governor's opened things up. Your thoughts on how it's going so far?
I think it's going good, and every week that we talk, I think it's showing that he has done the right thing. I haven't heard of any problems, not only in our area, but elsewhere. Businesses seem to be erring on the cautious side. Consumers are erring on the cautious side, so I think that's just a good recipe for slowly opening things up, which is what people need to do.
And, we keep on emphasizing, like I said, he's giving people the opportunity to open back up, but still people have the choice whether they want to go to restaurants, go to get their hair done, things like that. It's all personal choice at this point. But like I said, the businesses I've seen and talked to, everybody I've talked to says they think it's going well, that people are doing the social distancing, they're doing what they've been asked to do. So I haven't heard any problems here in Wayne County. I don't know if you've heard any problems in your district or not, but like I said, I'm like you. So far, everything I hear has been on the positive side.
And I think the numbers are proving that. There has been no spikes or increases. And going up now, there are more positive cases because we're testing a lot more people. But if you look at the death numbers, there's been no spikes, there's been no hot spots anywhere. So I think everything's looking good, and this is really, I think everybody's ready to get back to normal.
Yeah, I asked you this last time. I don't know if, I still haven't seen anything. They used to talk about the curve, or have we hit the curve, we're at the peak, or we're down on the other side of the peak. I haven't seen that date, or, what are you hearing about that? Where are we stand on that?
So, yeah, I saw one recently, actually in the last couple of days, and remember now, you can have 4 or 5 different people will have a different date, but the most consistent date is actually earlier than we thought, and that was April 16th. And so, and again, not everybody's going to agree on that, but I think everybody will agree that we are on the downward side. They may disagree when the very peak date hits, but I think most people, if you look at the data, that we have hit it.
I think that's been the most frustrating thing for everybody. It doesn't matter like I said, everybody's got a different opinion. Everybody's got a different take. Everybody's got a different message. I mean, there's not one continual, no one's running this thing. You know, there's not one individual, one agency that's running this thing. Everybody's got their own opinion on what to do, how to handle it. I mean, that seems to be the most frustrating thing to me. But I'll just speak personally. That's been the frustrating thing. Doesn't matter what agency you listen to or what broadcaster, what doctor, what expert, they all have different opinions, all have different theories, all have different everything. So there's no, that's been the most frustrating thing. That's why everybody's reached a boiling point. They're ready to get back to living a normal life.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you know, you would think data would be non-political, but nowadays nothing is non-political. And so people are grasping and finding, instead of looking at data and then giving the synopsis, people are coming up with what they want to be their opinion or what their opinion is, and then they're grabbing excessive data to prove their point.
Exactly. You know, and talking to business owners, like I said, there's two sides of this coin. And the side that they're worried about is the economic side. You know, they've got businesses that they've invested their livelihood into, and they're afraid they're going to lose that business if things don't open up quickly and people get back to, you know, visiting their businesses.
Yeah, and think about this. In my entire district, so in 3 counties, we've had between 15 and 20 deaths in a, almost 2-month period. And that was part of the governor's narrative, is that, you know, we got sections of the state that we're not hit bad by this, and so why are we continuing to put them on lockdown? So, and like I said, the others that are, because, you know, places like in Albany are acting different, and they should, because they have more cases. So, again, I think, you know, the governor kept using a very measured approach, and I think that's what it's been. So like I said, I haven't heard of any bad stuff.
And that's what we keep emphasizing, too. The governor's got the entire state to worry about. You know, we just used Wayne County as an example. We're going on week 6 of, you know, doing what everybody's been told to do, and we still get those figures twice a day from the Department of Public Health, and Wayne County's still sitting at 13 positive confirmed cases. Now, I don't know if that's because people aren't getting tested or what the issue is. I don't know if we're just blessed, but, you know, people in Wayne County are shaking their head like, look, we're shutting everything down for 6 weeks, and we only got 13 positive cases. So, I mean, there's other parts of the state doing the same thing. And like I said, some parts of the state have been affected adversely, like Albany and things like that. But, you know, like I said, the governor's, like I said, he's on that tightrope. He's trying to balance the entire state, looking at areas like Wayne County that haven't been affected. So is it fair to shut them down the same as other places? So it seems like it's a tough decision no matter what you do. Like I said, he's getting criticized no matter what he does. But like I said, he's trying to do what he thinks is best. We talk all the time. He's not making these decisions by himself. He's got expert people around him. You know, he's got Dr. Kathleen Toomey up there giving him the medical advice, and he's got other experts talking to him every day. So it's a tough act, but like I said, he's hanging tough, hasn't backed down from what he's done so far. And so far, as you mentioned, the data and the results seem to be in his favor right now.
Yeah, and that's hard to argue with. So we're about to turn our attention toward the budget. So
right. Well, I was just going to get to that. The question, you know, said now that we're opening things up, the question is, when's the legislative session get back? Talking to Stephen Meeks on Monday, he says he still thinks June 11th is the date, 2 days after the Georgia primary. So you think that's the date they're going back?
I do, and I've talked to some folks in leadership in the Senate, and even though they were pushing for a different date, they realized that June 11th is going to be the date. That hasn't, it's not an official public date, but I think everybody knows that is going to be the date. But we're not going to wait until then to start work, and did get a chance for a few minutes with Senator Tillery, and as you can imagine, he's a little overwhelmed. Not only is he trying to run a business, because that's his livelihood. This is supposed to be a part-time job. It has turned into a more than full-time job for him. So we've got a meeting. The first appropriations meeting is going to be tomorrow at 11 o'clock via Zoom. And so Senator Tillery and Chairman England, those are the two appropriations chairs, the Senate and House. They're hosting the meeting, and we're going to hear from our two folks, Barr. Director Kelly Farr. He's the governor's office of planning and budget, and the other guy is Dr. Jeffrey Dorman, who is the state economist. And the reason we have to start there is Georgia, unlike the federal, in some states, we have to operate from a balanced budget. So we have to start with a number in mind. Well, we have no idea what that number is, and so it's going to start with those two guys because our budget starts in the governor's office, and it's a revenue projected percent increase over the previous year. So even though it's given to us in a percent, it's easily calculated into a definitive number, and so we start there. But I can tell you, those that know enough to guess are guessing between $3.5 and $4 billion shortfall on the budget that we thought the House had passed and had sent over to the Senate. And so that has got everybody scrambling because every agency has been asked to come up with a 15% cut.
Yes, it's 14 or 15%. I keep hearing 14. You're saying 15?
The letter I saw, 15. 15,
okay. What I read was 14%. But just to give people here an idea of what that means, we talked with School Superintendent Jay Brinson yesterday, and we had this story today on the news. And more than $400 million in federal emergency aid has flowed to the public school system in the state of Georgia due to the CARES Act. So everybody's going to get their piece of the pie. So you look at that $400 million that comes down to Wayne County, they'll get sent $1.5 million, which, again, the school superintendent says is much appreciated. But if you cut the 15% from the state allotment of QBE funds, that equals $5 million. So you take 1.5 and $5 million, you're still $3.5 million in the hole. So that's just one school system here in Wayne County. So you can see how that cut's going to affect school districts all across the state of Georgia. It's going to be a tough cut.
It's going to be tough for everybody. And, the previous budget, when the governor asked for a 4% budget cut from everybody, he exempted the Department of Education. There are no exemptions on this one. Now, does that mean every single person, every single agency will have to end up with a 14 or 15%? No, because what will happen, we ask for that percent, and then we realize everything's not equal across the board. So it may mean that the Department of Corrections ends up with a 20%, and Department of Education, might be 8 or 9. I don't know. I'm just throwing out numbers. We know. Remember, and that's tough because education is nearly 60% of every dollar we spend in the state.
So you said there might be some jockeying on the numbers when you get up there to discuss it.
Yeah.
If you read the articles coming out, they're saying it's the governor's talking about a 14% cut across the board, all departments, but you're saying there could be some negotiations once you get up there on what department gets hit the hardest, and you just mentioned different figures for different departments. So you're saying it may not be straight across the board.
Well, we don't know. The starting point is to ask everybody for the same percent because that makes the math the easiest if we can make that work. But you got to realize too, we're mandated to educate our children. So some of the things in our budget that are necessary may not be mandated. So I'm just saying that we don't know. We don't know yet. So, but as you alluded to, just with Wayne County, it is going to hurt everybody.
We talk all the time, most of the time you don't see a lot of divisiveness between the Republicans and Georgians and the Democrat. Up in the legislature. They seem to get along pretty good and things run smoothly. How about now? Like I said, everything's political. Do you think there's going to be a battle once you get up there between the Republicans and the Democrats on what gets cut, what doesn't get cut, or do you think everybody will still be able to work pretty close together?
It's going to be a battle, and that narrative, I would say, already started changing. When I got elected in 2014, my first couple of years, we obviously had different thoughts on policy, but it was more of a, let's see where we can meet. I'm going to tell you the last 3 to 4 years, there has been a significant change. It seems as though the younger, and I'm not blaming one party, it's both. It's both parties have seemed to move to the extreme and are more, and you keep hearing the word disruptive, instead of, trying to find a solution. So, no, we have our own set of issues. And like I said, unfortunately, we don't have enough of the Calvin Smyries, who's a Democrat who's been there 40 years, who's very calm, does try to work. So he's trying to corral some of the newer members. And again, we have it in our party too. We've got folks that don't believe, we're limited government enough. And so no, we've got our own battle lines here in the state of Georgia.
And if you just joining us, Bill Werkheiser with us here on the World Famous Butch and Bob Show, Wednesdays with Werkheiser, talking about getting back to the legislative session. Again, it's going to be a difficult task. Talk to Stephen again on Monday. We asked this question to you last Wednesday again. The budget's going to be definitely top priority. But I keep asking, will anything else get done besides the budget? Will the budget just consume everybody and they won't be able to do anything else?
Well, first of all, we've only got a maximum 10 days, and we don't have to meet all 10 days. The simple answer is yes, the budget will dominate, not only because it would dominate anyway, that's what we spend our time on, but with these kind of deep cuts, it's going to be so time-consuming. Will we pass other measures? Sure. But they will be very big picture, and I'm trying to think of some. I know there's some issues that we will tackle. Like, in fact, just last week, hidden deep in the news, a governor signed the adjustments to the dual enrollment. So there are other bills that are still moving, but it will not be near the volume of what we have seen in past years, just because, like I said, we work hard on the budget every year. It takes up a lot of time. But even during think about this, Bob, during the recession that lasted 4.5 years, it went down every year. We didn't cut $4 billion during that entire period. And now you're saying do it in 10 days. So
it's going to be interesting to watch and see how it all plays out. That's for sure. Getting back to the COVID-19, I asked Stephen Meeks, ask you again. You're one of our representatives. People call you all the time. They've got issues. They've got problems. How is the small business loan? I keep hearing from different places. Some have gotten it, some have not gotten it, some are having difficulties, some didn't have difficulties. Are you hearing from a lot of constituents, businesses, people? What can you do to help those people that haven't got their money at this time?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, that's one area that, and since we talked last Wednesday, I've talked to 2 more businesses, and again, it's been all good report to me. They've been able to get the PPP loan. They've been able to get some other stuff. I talked to one business owner, pretty sizable business, got more than 100 employees. he said he had a pretty sizable SBA loan, and he didn't ask for it, didn't apply for it, just got a letter saying the next 6 months have not been deferred, but then been eliminated. Like, it has not been tacked on to the end. The interest hadn't been added. Those payments are gone. So, the federal government, I feel like, has done a great job of looking after our businesses. And so, and again, folks, I think I mentioned this earlier, one of the reasons why it's fared better here than some of the other stores that you may hear in the Atlanta area, most of our small businesses have a relationship with their banker. They go to Rotary Club with them, they go to church with them, but they know them. Their banker has a pulse on how they've seen their business over the years, and if you've been in business for more than 10 years, you've had ups and downs. And so the reports I'm hearing has been really favorable, and that's a testament to having banks that are run by local folks that you know.
So it goes to the old adage: "It's not what you know, it's who you know." You got to know your banker to help you out. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, and it's funny. I was able to say this up until 6 or 8 years ago. Tattnall was one of 3 counties left in the state that did not have a regionally or nationally owned bank. Like, every single bank was, the board of directors was your hardware store owner, your manufacturer, your pharmacist. Now that's changed in the last few years, but I had, in my 30-something years, I have always banked with a local bank. I knew my banker really, really well. We golfed together. And that matters, because I tell you, especially over a span of 30 years, you're going to hit some pretty rough spots. And I've gotten help that I don't think I would have gotten, from someone who didn't know me. On paper, it might not look good, but they were willing to take a chance on me. It worked out. Was able to come out of that, still continue to grow, and ended up on a very high note. So, I think it matters, in developing relationships and not just a strict business relationship.
Well, if there's somebody out there listening that is having a problem, needs to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get in touch with Bill Werkheiser?
Easiest way to remember is bill@werkheiser.com. My cell phone is 912-237-0145. Can usually get you pointed in the right direction, especially if you've had hurdles and not getting a return phone call. We've been able to help very many people out, and that's a good part of the job. It's very satisfying to help folks, and that's really what this job was all about.
Well, the good news is, like I said, all representation, you and Stephen and Blake Tiller have all been accessible, and you continue to give out your email and phone numbers to help people if they need it. So that's the good thing. Like I said, it's good to have that relationship with our local representation. Apparently you guys work well together, so that's good for our area as well. But as you mentioned, Blake stepped into a tough spot here with the passing of Jack Hill. He steps up in that. He's going to be the man pretty much in charge of getting that budget approved, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, because it's going to be a tough task trying to get that budget approved before July 1.
Yeah, and I've already talked to Terry England about, and everybody at the Capitol knows, everybody at the Capitol knows what Wayne County already knows, and that is Blake is a very smart individual. You can throw all the stuff you want at him, and he's going to be able to handle it. If he doesn't know the answer, he's going to find out. He's going to keep working until he does. And as you said, he's successful. I feel like I'm one of the more fortunate legislators having Meeks and Hillary. They make me look good, and we do. We get along great. We text often. So
I know you were in.
One of them can't figure it out collectively.
I know you were in Odom right after the tornado hit, said, how's that relief going to those people? Are you hearing any problems over there, or are most people getting the help they need?
No, not. I'm glad you brought that up. I talked to a GEMA guy, and think about this. This is what they do day in and day out. They help disaster folks all over the state. And I promise you this is what he said. He said, I've been doing this for many years. I have never seen a community overwhelm the people who needed help. Now, I've seen a lot of good stuff and people help, but he's saying the volume. He's saying, I've never had to turn around the volume. It was like a parade of people showing up with trucks, trailers, and tractors. He said, I had to send half those tractors home. He said, and I was over there. I wasn't over there the next day. I was over there 2 days later. There wasn't a road that was not passable. Every tree had been removed from the road. All the trees are off the power line. Bob, I was in southwest Georgia 3 months after the hurricane. Of course, now that hurricane was bigger, but I'm telling you, there's still trees that need to be moved. Not across the road, but I'm just telling you the process. And I'm telling you, it made your heart feel good when I went over there. In fact, it was kind of a Norman Rockwell picture for me. I was as I was circling the block to meet two mayors there. I saw a lady carrying a tie-in to a local insurance company there. And, I mean, you think about that, the insurance companies in those types of situations, they're overwhelmed. They're working late into the evening. And someone thought to say, well, there's more than this. The victims are being handled because everybody knows who the main victims are. But just for people to think outside the box and show how they can care, that is the epitome of South Georgia. Yeah, that's why I love this place.
Yeah, it was just a phenomenal story. We had the mayor in here the other day talking about the T-shirts they were doing, but he talked about if he had to thank everybody, he'd be here forever because, like I said, people came from far and wide to help out after that tornado hit, and it was just a great success story and great, human interest story to see how many people showed up to help out. So just a great, just talks again about what a great community Wayne County is overall. But again, Bill, we're going to let you go. Again, we appreciate you being here every Wednesday on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Wish you all the best of luck when you do get back to the session. Again, it sounds like it's going to be a tough task, going to be tough. And like I said, that's the story that just hasn't been written yet, what the economic impact's going to be once this virus ends, because it's really taking a toll on a lot of business people, a lot of agencies, just a lot of people being affected financially, that's for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see how bad the economic hit is before it's all said and done.
Well, thank you for what y'all do, and y'all have a blessed day, and we'll talk next week.
Okay, appreciate it, Bill. Thanks so much. Right. Again, those comments, State Representative Bill Werkheiser here on Wednesdays with Werkheiser on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Again, tomorrow we've got Lamar Eccles, the Recreation Director. He's going to give an update on what's going to take place recreation-wise here in the summer. Also have an update on what's taking place out of Lake Grace. There's been a lot posted on social media, but again, he'll tell you what's fact and fiction tomorrow here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Just remember, I heard and he said, two biggest liars in the world, so don't listen to any of that.
Right.
And we'll have the source himself here with all the information tomorrow here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Lamar Eccles will have all the details of what's taking place at Lake Grace and what's taking place in recreation this summer. So look forward to that show tomorrow here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show.
All right, that'll put a lid on it for a Wednesday morning. Have a great day, Bob. World famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply and Nips Car Wash. Good morning from the Big Dog WIFO at 8:28. Up next, an update from Fox News Radio.